Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the November 19th, 2025 City Council meeting to order. If you're able, please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Casena,
Here.
Mayor Naxted,
Here.
Councilmember Daniel,
Here.
Councilmember Sonar,
Here.
Councilmember Askin,
Here.
Councilmember Grimmy,
Here.
and Student Representative Bowling.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Council, before we get to the agenda and consent agenda approval, I'd like to bring to your attention the laydown. We have two. Item E1, council appointment, public comments, brought to us by the clerk. And item number F2, ordinance number 3493, 2025, amendment request from administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move that we approve the agenda and consent agenda in addition to the laydown materials and request unanimous consent.
Second. Okay, moved and seconded. Are there any revisions to the agenda and consent agenda from council? Seeing none, clerk, would you please read the consent agenda items into the record for us?
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of November 5th, 2025, brought to you by the city clerk. New business action approval, bills to be ratified, brought to you by the administration. New business action approval, purchase orders and purchase order amendments requiring council approval in accordance with KMC 715-020, brought to you by the administration. And action approval amending special use permit for Weaver Brothers, Inc. for truck trailer storage, brought to you by the administration. And that is your consent agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any public comments on any items of the consent agenda items that were just read by the clerk from the audience? Anybody online? Okay, seeing none, unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, the agenda and consent agenda are approved. Moving on, we have no administrative reports. We have no scheduled public comments. Now we have unscheduled public comments. Are there any members from the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Okay. Seeing no one, that brings us down to item E, council appointment. I've got quite a bit to cover here, but first I wanted to note that the council may convene into executive session to discuss this agenda item, which may be subject that tends to prejudice the reputation and character of the candidate for the vacant council seat per AS 44.62310 C2. The candidates did not request that their conversation about them that would be taking place in public, so we would go into executive session if we felt the need to. If they requested it, we would have to do it in public, but they did not do that during the time frame. So, kind of moving on the how we got here and the rules of what we're going to be doing. The council on October 15th, 2025 declared a vacant seat on the City Council with an effective date of October 20th, 2025, which is the date that my term as mayor began, creating the vacancy. City Charter Section 2.9 establishes that the remaining members of the council shall fill vacancies by appointment until the next regular city elections. Applications for vacant council seats were solicited. All four applicants who applied met the qualification requirements to serve as a city council member, and all four applicants were interviewed earlier today during a council work session. Here shortly, I will ask for a motion to begin the voting process by secret ballot. Council members will be given a ballot. The initial vote will be counted on a point system. The first choice will receive 2 points, and the second choice will receive 1 point. During this process, council members may choose only one or two applicants. The three candidates who receive the most votes will move on to the second voting cycle. The City Council will again vote using the same point system for the remaining three candidates. When only two applicants remain, the council will be then given a ballot with the names of the two remaining applicants, and will only vote for one applicant on the ballot. The clerk will gather the tally and tally the ballots, then announce the outcome of the voted ballots. After the outcome has been stated, the council may make a motion to appoint the person who received the greatest number of votes. If at any time during the voting process there is a tie vote and the tie vote is not broken after two votes, the tie shall be broken by lot as provided by Kenai Municipal Code. Names will be drawn from a hat, and then if there are more than two applicants remaining, the name drawn will be eliminated from the next voting cycle. When there are only two remaining applicants, there is a tie. When there are only two remaining applicants, there is a tie vote, and the tie is not broken after two votes. The tie shall be broken by lot. Names will be drawn from a hat, and the name drawn will be the applicant selected for appointment. The council, by majority vote of the remaining members, may decide at any time not to appoint any applicant and start a new recruitment period or extend the existing recruitment period. So that was a lot to take in. Did that make sense? Because we can clarify that for anybody here in the audience or here on council. Okay. At this time, I will entertain a motion to begin voting process by secret ballot. Is there a motion? Vice Mayor Askin.
I move that we commence with voting on the secret ballot for our appointed council member position.
I will second.
Okay, did I hear unanimous consent?
And request unanimous consent.
Thank you very much. Unanimous consent was requested. Is there any objection to hearing no objection? Would the clerk please hand out the ballots?
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. May I clarify one thing on these?
Sure.
So the instructions that Mayor Naxted just read explain it, but when you vote, write first choice next to your first choice. Don't write two or one, write first choice and second choice next to your second choice. Then we will tally it over here in a spreadsheet.
So just to be clear, write the word first or second because we're counting 1 or 2 points, and I just don't want anybody to unintentionally have one be their first choice and vice versa.
Madam Clerk, to be clear, it says 2 points for first choice. So that makes sense. So are we going to put a 1 in, and that's our first choice? Just write the word first. Okay.
Please write the word first or second. Thank you.
The first ballot has Alexander Dothit as first choice and Glenise Petty as second choice. Second ballot has Alexander Dothit as second choice and Glenise Petty as first choice. Third ballot has Glenise Petty as first choice and Michelle Miller Obey as second choice. Fourth ballot has Alexander Dothett as first choice and Dwayne Anthony Bannock as second choice. Fifth ballot has Michelle Miller Obey as second choice and Glenise Petty as first choice. And the sixth ballot has Alexander Dothett as second choice and Glenise Petty as first choice. So the outcome of the ballot is Glenise Petty with 9 votes, Alexander Dothett with 6, Michelle Miller Obey with 2, and Dwayne Bannock with 1.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bannock. Oh, we're not done yet. So what we did is, there's 3 of you still in the running. Mr. Bannock is not. So we're gonna go through the voting cycle one more time. Will the clerk please pass out the ballots when you're ready?
Drop one each time, or if you go because there's 2 clear winners. The applicants with the lowest number until only 2 are remained.
So
Oh, we just have the 2? I thought we went down to the,
Nice job.
So the code says that the applicants with the lowest number of points will be eliminated until only 2 applicants remain. When only 2 applicants remain, then we proceed to the next paragraph. So the question is whether we drop 2 applicants or just 1 and vote again. I guess we could vote with the 3 remaining candidates again.
the first ballot has Michelle Miller Obey as second choice and Glenise Petty as first. Second ballot has Alexander Dothett as first choice and Michelle Miller Obey as second. Third ballot has Alexander Dothett as second choice and Glenise Petty as first. Fourth ballot has Michelle Miller Obey as second choice and Glenise Petty as first. Fourth ballot has Alexander Dothett as second choice and Glenise Petty as first. And the sixth ballot has Alexander Dothit as first choice, and Michelle Miller Obey as second choice. With the outcome of that is Glenise Petty with 8 votes, Alexander Dothit with 6, and Michelle Miller Obey with 4.
Okay, Mr. Miller Obey, thank you very much for having the bravery to put your name in. Thank you very much. So with that, will the clerk, when you're ready, please pass out the ballots for the third round. Yeah, and I was just reminded, this time you just vote once.
Yeah, this time you'll just fill in an oval.
Yeah. Do you want to pass out the,
They're printing right now.
Okay.
It's- The first ballot is for Glenise Petty. Second is for Alexander Dothit. Third is for Glenise Petty. Fourth is for Glenise Petty. Fifth is for Alexander Dothit. And the sixth is for Glenise Petty. The outcome is 4 for Glenise Petty and 2 for Alexander Dothit.
thank you, Mr. Dothit, for putting your hat in. Wait a moment here.
I'm sorry?
Okay, at this point, I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint Glenise Petty. And is there a second?
I move to appoint Glenise Petty to serve the one-year term on city council.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. Mayor Naxted.
Yes.
Councilmember Daniel.
No.
Councilmember Sonart.
Yes.
Councilmember Askin.
Yes.
Councilmember Greemy.
No.
Councilmember Casena.
Yes.
You have 4 yes votes and 2 no votes. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. And the city attorney, just for clarification, wanted me to remind everybody that this is just for a one-year term,
Until the next election.
Till the next election.
Not a calendar.
not a calendar year. So now we're to appointment of the oath. Would the clerk please administer the oath of office, please? So I think at this time, I'd like to take a 10-minute break. I think it's a good time to do it, till 6:30. Yep. Okay, back on the record. Now we're into public hearings under item F. That brings us to our first public hearing tonight. That is ordinance 3492, 2025, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations in the general fund, Streets Department for replacement of damaged guardrail on Beaver Loop Road, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Raskin.
I move that we enact ordinance 3492-2025.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3492, 2025? Seeing none, that brings us back to council. I'd like to point out there is an amendment from administration on page 7 of the packet. If I could get that motion. Vice Mayor Askin, please.
I move to amend ordinance 3492-2025 by inserting a new fourth whereas clause to read, quote, "The damage is covered by the city's insurance, less a $1,000 deductible, semicolon, and," end quote.
I'll second.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, and by amending section 1 by deleting appropriation fund balance and replacing with restitution. Sorry.
Now I'll second.
okay, moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Daniel?
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Askin?
Yes.
Councilmember Grimmy?
Yes.
Councilmember Casena?
Yes.
Councilmember Petty?
Yes.
Mayor Nakstad?
Yes.
Student Representative Bowling?
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3492-2025 as amended is enacted.
Okay, is there any additional discussion on the ordinance as amended? What I would like to hear is from our city manager on this, because the price changed significantly for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So we have a guardrail. This actually is a guardrail that protects individuals from going off of the bike path along Beaver Loop. It was damaged by a motorist. It was an uninsured motorist, actually. Initially, we didn't think the city's insurance would apply, but after drafting of this ordinance and introduction, they did determine that it would be eligible, and they will be covering all the costs except for $1,000. That's why we requested to change from an appropriation of fund balance to it's appropriating the restitution from the insurance company so we can effect those repairs.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Actually, I do for the city manager. Just in general, when a motorist, say a motorist, hits a light pole or a sign or whatever, are they normally, through our process, liable for those costs, like this guardrail? And how do we implement that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So, yes, if an individual is at fault and damages city property, typically they are liable for those repairs. The important thing is if we, know who they are, then we will, a police report is generally, especially involving motor vehicles, is generated. It lists the individual's insurance. We reach out to the insurance company. We file a claim with them to effect the repairs. Like I said, in this case, we had an uninsured motorist, so there was no insurance company to contact. Typically, in those cases where we wouldn't have insurance proceeds and they didn't have insurance, we would work with the DA's office to submit a claim for restitution that can be ordered as part of any legal proceedings that happen as a result of the damage that they've done. But that's generally the process. In this case, like I said, our insurance company has admitted or has taken responsibility or is providing coverage. I assume they will try to subrogate the claim back to the defendant at some point, but it'll be up to them at this point. We'll get made whole minus the $1,000 deductible. So we likely will still have a claim for restitution of $1,000 against the individual.
Thank you for that. Is there any more discussion? Please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. I apologize. I stated that was enacted as amended when that was just the call on the amendment. So this is the roll call on the amended ordinance.
On the amended ordinance.
Councilmember Sonar.
Thank you.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Askin.
Yes.
Councilmember Grimmy.
Yes.
Councilmember Casena.
Yes.
Councilmember Petty.
Yes.
Mayor Naxted.
Yes.
Councilmember Daniel.
Yes.
Student Representative Bowling.
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3492-2025 as amended is enacted.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now we're on item F2, ordinance 3493, 2025, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations in the general fund, buildings department for replacement of the cooling system in the Kenai, the city's data center, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move to enact ordinance 3493-2025.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3493, 2025? Is there anybody nobody online? So we do have, brings it back to council. I see that we have a lay down in our lay down packet for this. So I'm looking for a motion on that. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move to amend ordinance number 3493-2025 by amending the amount in the third whereas clause from $20,000 to $25,000.
I'll second that and request unanimous consent.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, unanimous consent was requested, so the amendment is approved if there's no objections. So that brings us to the ordinance as amended. Further discussion? Okay, seeing none, clerk, please call the roll for the amendment ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. Vice Mayor Askin.
Yes.
Councilmember.
I heard my name in there.
You did, Vice Mayor Askin. I'm sorry. Everything changed. I'm getting used to it. That was a yes from Vice Mayor Askin. Councilmember Grimmy.
Yes.
Councilmember Casena.
Yes.
Councilmember Petty.
Yes. Yes.
Mayor Naxted.
Yes.
Councilmember Daniel.
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart.
Yes.
Student Representative Bowling.
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3493-2025 as amended is enacted.
Thank you very much. And when I hear Vice Mayor, I perk up like it's me, and then it's not. So that's okay. Next, we have item F3, ordinance 3494, 2025, amending the official zoning map by rezoning 7 lots and 1 tract to urban residential and 2 tracts to suburban residential along Redoubt Avenue from 4th Street to Float Plain Road, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move that we enact ordinance 3494-2025.
I'll second that.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3494, 2025? Anybody online? Okay, seeing no one, we'll bring it back to council. Council discussion? Councilmember Petty.
Yes, I would like to ask the city manager to give everyone in the room an update on the difference of rural residential versus urban residential. If you could do that, please.
City manager, I'm sorry.
No.
I was just,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Petty. Kevin, can you give a discussion on that, please?
Yes. Through the city, through the city manager, rural residential is our most restrictive type of residential zoning. Urban is the least, whereas you can have different scales of development. So urban residential allows for anything over about six or more units, so sixplex up to an eightplex or even more. Whereas rural residential, you have to keep a fourplex or lower, and then suburban, you can get to 5 or 6, depending. So this ordinance, as proposed, is really to get the rest of that neighborhood into the context of the surrounding zones, so that it kind of flows together. This particular rezone was brought forth by one of the property owners and then agreed to by the others. It would eliminate 4 conditional use permits. Right now, there are a few, in what is currently rural residential, there are a couple of 6 and 8plex that were granted a conditional use permit by the Planning and Zoning Commission. This would eliminate the need because it would be allowable by right in urban residential. It would also allow for, but it would not require smaller lot sizes. So especially with some of the larger tracts that are over there, if a developer comes in, they may be able to develop it and put more houses, possibly in the style of like In the Woods, which is a neighboring subdivision. Rural residential, the smallest you can get is 0.47 of an acre, so just about a half acre. This would allow down to 0.17, which is fairly small, but recent development patterns have been somewhere between a quarter of an acre to a third of an acre, and this would allow for that if a developer were wanting to do so, but it does not require them. They can still have larger lot sizes. So you would have a little bit higher density in this area, but that would be more expected because we do have utilities in the area, and this would allow for the extension utilities, eventual looping as that area develops, and just opens up more land for development as it's demanded.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions of the city manager? I do have a comment. Well, first off, I support the rezone, and I know that one of these parcels on the western side, the big one that's kind of like a flag, is owned by the city, and we've been developing kind of piece by piece, moving north. And I would encourage, if you're not already talking about it, having some kind of an overall plan for that property and where the roads might go, where the water and sewer might go, kind of like a paper plat, but nothing official, because we don't want to get too blocked as we keep moving farther north, so we know where the water is going to tie in. The parcel to the east, I know that there's a preliminary plat that's been sitting. It hasn't been finalized for a long time, that we might be able to tie in as far as water going that direction, looping and roads and whatnot. So I think it's good planning. So after having said that, city manager, have you been considering moving forward with something like that already, or?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. We've definitely had conversations. This is the area where the city is donated, and now we've also conditionally donated additional parcels to KPHI. We're being the lead applicant on a community development block grant with KPHI to bring utilities across up in 6th Avenue there, which will allow for those utilities to be extended into that undeveloped parcel up above. And we've done some preliminary drawings. I think it's important for us to also give developers some flexibility in laying out a subdivision as they see fit too. That's what they do. So we are cognizant of that, and we always look at utilities and drainage and everything else when we're looking at these subdivisions to make sure that we do the best that we can. And looping of utilities is critical for not only flushing, but for flows and everything else. And I know our Public Works Department is very cognizant of that in all of our reviews and planning, so.
Okay, thank you. And we do have a very talented Public Works Director. And, even if it's a crayon drawing of a plan, generally, that probably will suffice. Thank you. Is there any further questions? Councilmember Glenn?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to ask the city manager, I'm so sorry, I'm not familiar with the acronym KPHI. Would you give me clarity, please?
City Manager Eubank.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Petty. Sorry about that. KPHI is Kenai Peninsula Housing Initiative. It's actually a nonprofit group out of their, I think their headquarters out of Homer, but they do low-income and low-income senior housing developments. They've got a number of units throughout the borough. They already have 3, I think, buildings or more are in the readout area on land that was donated by the city, and they're currently under construction for additional units there. So that's, sorry for the acronym soup.
Any further comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Grimmie,
Yes.
Councilmember Casena,
Yes.
Councilmember Petty,
Yes.
Mayor Nakstad,
Yes.
Councilmember Daniel,
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Askin,
Yes.
Student Representative Bowling.
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3494-2025 is enacted.
Okay, thank you very much. That brings us to item F4, ordinance 3495-2025, authorizing the reallocation of capital project funds and increase to estimated revenues and expenditures, and approving the sole source purchase of 2 patient power load systems for ambulances, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Councilmember Askin.
I move that we enact ordinance 3495-2025.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3495-2025? Anybody online? Okay, seeing no one, we'll bring it back to council. Discussion from council. City Manager Eubank, would you care to tell us what these devices are?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So I guess to back up just a little bit, a few years ago, the city appropriated $60,000, council appropriated $60,000 to refurbish or reconstruct a tank. It's out here in the ground. The fire department uses that tank for testing of pumps on its apparatus. They've determined and they've been able to utilize the facilities of, I believe, Nikiski Fire has allowed us to do our testing out there on our apparatus, negating the need to reconstruct this tank out here. There was also some consideration. I don't think 60,000 was enough to accomplish the project as originally thought. What the fire department has asked is to redirect those funds and appropriate an additional $1,111.72 to purchase some power load systems. Now, what these systems do, for council's information, when we purchased our latest 2 ambulances, they were fitted to accept these devices, and what they do is they assist the fire crews, the medical personnel, with loading of the cots into the ambulance. Right now, it requires, I guess, brute strength or, physical ability to do that, which, with larger patients and things, that can be a lot for some of the personnel. It results in a lot of injuries. The department did apply for a grant to accomplish that. I can't remember the exact grant it was, but those grants have not yet been awarded. It's been delayed. They should have been announced earlier last year. Chief over there believes that these items are important enough and needed to avoid injury of personnel over there. It only takes one back injury before we would significantly eat up this amount of money. So that's what this is about, and just request your support.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Any questions? Further discussion? Councilmember Glenis Petty?
Through the mayor, for the city manager, if those 2 grants do come through, would our facility still be eligible for those grant resources, even though these resources are coming from the general fund? I am completely in support of this ordinance. to avoid those injuries, like you said, which can be very costly. Just the question, would we still be eligible for those grants?
City Manager Eubank?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Petty. I would say yes, but in discussions with the chief, it's not anticipated that those grant funds are going to come through, and that's why it's being brought forward at this time.
Okay, one more time, any further comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Casena,
Yes.
Councilmember Petty,
Yes.
Mayor Nakstad,
Yes.
Councilmember Daniel,
Yes.
Councilmember Sonart,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Askin,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimmy,
Yes.
Student Representative Bowling.
Yes.
You have 7 yes votes. Ordinance number 3495-2025 is enacted.
Thank you very much. That brings us to new business item I4, action approval, directing the administration to bring forward the legislation necessary to sunset the City of Kenai Harbor Commission, brought to us by the clerk. City pleasure of council. Councilmember Askin.
I move that we approve the recommendation to sunset the Harbor Commission and ask for unanimous consent.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. If there's nobody online, clerk, would you want to give us a kind of a rundown on where we're at and where we're going to go?
Thank you, Mayor Nakstad. So over the past few years, the Harbor Commission meetings have either been canceled for lack of quorum or lack of agenda items, and the commission has agreed to make the recommendation to council for sunset. So at this point, after this recommendation, we will draft the legislation to amend code and policy and take it to the commission at a special meeting on December 8th, where they can make a recommendation, and then that legislation will come back to you guys for final approval.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Petty.
Yes. With the sunset of this Harbor Commission, does that negate the availability of any type of grant funds for our harbor here in Kenai?
City Manager Eubank, I suppose that would be for you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Petty. Not to my knowledge.
So if there were grants that were perhaps by the city planner found out about it, or, somebody else, perhaps yourself, that there were grants available for improvements for our harbor, then we could apply for those and reinstate a harbor commission if we deem necessary. Is that correct?
City Manager Eubank, go ahead.
I'm going to touch on this, but I think the city attorney might be better versed to answer the last part of your question. But to my knowledge, I have not seen any grant applications that require a harbor commission in order to apply. So I have not seen that as a condition of application for any grants. And then I'll let the city attorney speak to the ability to reinstate the commission.
Attorney Bloom.
Thank you, Mayor Nakstad. So, yeah, the only commission that we have to have for grant purposes that we know of right now is actually our Council on Aging. That's a requirement for a lot of the grants we get. As far as we're not getting rid of the harbor, and other parts of the harbor code will go to other commissions because there are certain duties that we still have to do, like with tideland leases that the city has. But certainly at any point that council would desire to have a harbor commission again, that could be redone or remade.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Any further questions or comments? I'd like to say that I appreciate, I think I know where this is going, particularly since they voted unanimously at the Harbor Commission to sunset. So it would make sense that that's what's going to happen next. And I have appreciated those people that volunteered their time. And perhaps there's some opportunity for them to continue to volunteer their time. So I would ask the clerk, perhaps when through this process, that if you could give them a paper copy of an application or whatever, and and tell them that we appreciate them to look at some of our other commissions, and also provide some information on what seats are available, because I'd hate to lose them. Any further comments? Unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the action approval is approved. So that gets us down to item I-5. This is a discussion action item, scheduling a work session to discuss the Challenger Center brought to us by administration. City Manager Eubank.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. As council is aware, at the November 5th council meeting, council passed resolution 2025-64, which mutually agreed to terminate the lease at 9711 Kenai Spur Highway with the Alaska Center for Space and Technology, what's better known as the Challenger Learning Center. That lease terminated and the city took possession of that structure on November 15th here, so just last week. We're requesting a work session. We'll be introducing an ordinance at the next council meeting, providing supplemental funding so that we can have funding to keep the lights on and things like that, keep the heat on in that structure. Those definitely was an unbudgeted expense to us. And then we'd like to schedule a work session, preferably for December 17th, to discuss possible uses of that building and the direction as we continue to move forward with evaluating which directions to go with that building that we just came into possession of.
Okay, any further discussion? There's a note that December 17th is the suggested date. That would be at 5 o'clock before the next meeting. Does that work for everybody? Okay, well, it's the 17th then. So that gets us to commissioners' reports. First, we have Council on Aging, Commissioner Askin.
Thank you, Mayor Nexted. We met on Thursday at 3 o'clock and reviewed the goals that had been set forth earlier in the year, and they also discussed the upcoming Thanksgiving election. And the next meeting is December the 11th.
Thank you for your report. Airport Commission, Councilmember Sonart.
Mayor Nexted, I cannot seem to find my notes from that meeting from last week, but I will have it for the December 3rd meeting, and we'll give a report then.
Good enough, thank you. That gets us to item 3, Harbor Commission. Councilmember Daniel, you filled in for that.
I did. Thank you, Mayor Naxted. We pretty much summed it up tonight with our discussion item about the sunsetting. That was pretty much it. They had a work session and a meeting right afterwards, and that was the extent of both meetings. So, and we'll see what happens.
Councilmember Daniel, would you care to go to the next meeting too, since you're kind of taking it to the end here?
Why not? I'll take it to the end. So,
Thank you very much for doing that.
No problem.
So that brings us to Parks and Recreation. Grimmy.
There was not another meeting since our last council meeting. The next meeting is scheduled for December 4th.
Okay, thank you. Planning and Zoning Commission, Cassena. Councilmember Cassena.
Thank you. It was my first time there, so it was pretty fun. It was an eventful first Planning and Zoning Commission for me. The commission held a work session discussing tent camping, focusing on whether permits should be required, how to define things like tents and campgrounds, what regulations should apply regarding property taxes or property types, distances from structures, fire restrictions, waste and sanitation, and allowable uses. Commissioners raised questions about differentiating tents from other structures, setting limits on parameters for camping, exemptions for families, like people having children camp in their yard, and ensuring non-commercial use. Director Buettner will compile the feedback and return that to the commission with a consolidated proposal for review. The commission also reviewed a conditional use permit for Summit 106, a small auto sales business at 4586 Kenai Spur Highway. This is a proposed new business on the corner of Strawberry Road and the Spur Highway. There were many comments and concerns, more comments than concerns, from neighbors regarding clutter, our notification process, and the impacts on the neighborhood's residential character. But after a long discussion and rebuttal period, it was unanimously approved. And then the final main item for them was a discussion to schedule a work session for the review and recommendations on updates to Municipal Code 14.10 subdivision regulations. And their next commission meeting is December 24th at 7.
Okay, thank you. Beautification, not sure who has
The
that.
10th? Yeah, sorry about that. There's a clarification from Director Buettner. I did mention this was my first Planning and Zoning Commission.
Go ahead.
Just the next meeting's on the 10th and the meeting on the 24th was canceled.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay. Beautification,
I will be taking that for the next few months, the deal Saval and I worked out. I think, I don't know this, maybe the clerk can help me out when their next meeting is. Can they like cancel something and reschedule it, do we know? Or it might be, I don't know.
Thank you. I don't have the 2026 schedule in front of me, but I think there might be a special meeting in the future in December, but I'm not sure.
Then that's what I was thinking too, but wasn't sure either, so sorry about that. That's all I got.
no problem, but since we're talking about scheduling and everything, when I made these appointments a while ago, I wasn't anticipating the Harbor Commission sunsetting, which it probably will, and whoever was, well, Councilmember Petty, whoever was going to be in that seat would fall into it. But it's gone, and she has no commission to tend to, I suppose. So I can't really work with the three of you because the four of us would make a meeting. So what I guess I'm requesting is if the three of you could work with the clerk, and the both of you have jointly Planning and Zoning Commission and Beautification Commission too. And if you think you can, if this is fair, to kind of work that out with the clerk and how you want to divvy that out. Who wants to do what? And then we'll let everybody know who's doing what. So that works? I don't know how else to go about it, rather than going through the whole formal process again.
Sure, works fine.
Okay. So I'll let the clerk kind of coordinate that with you. How's that? Okay, that brings us to the mayor's report. I have a few items. First, I want to congratulate Glenyce Petty to City Council. Thank you. I also want to thank Councilmember Remy and let's see, Cassena, sorry, for helping with the questions and all that for this whole process. And certainly want to thank all the candidates that were here and put in their time and today, and I do appreciate that. I attended today the chamber meeting, and that had to do with the Kenaitze Indian Tribe bus service that they call the Katanu Area Transit. They've got four, basically 40-foot buses, and they're going to start operation on December 3rd, December 2nd. And what they're planning on doing is their initial schedule is from 6:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. And what they're going to, their first route that they're initiating is from Nikiski, out by the mall in Nikiski, the old fire station, basically, into Kenai. And then they bought the old, I consider Craycroft Chrysler building with the Ford building. But anyway, to there, and then they're going to take Key Beach and into Soldotna, and then they go as far as Big John's, and then they turn around and come back. And they do that. We're going to be doing that loop. And I know that they have some other areas that they would like to expand into and in between. Their basic fees are for a single ride's $5, $10 for a day, whatever you want to do. $100 gets you a month. If you're over 55, it's half price. They The Stops in Kenai is at the Wellness Center for the Kenites in Old Town, Main Street in Coho, and then what they call the Katnu Transit Center, which is the old car sales lot there. So that's where they're going to go. There were some questions about the airport. They would like to go into the airport to drop off and pick up. They say that it's the radius there is pretty tight for their equipment. But I do believe that we're getting close to, we're going to redo the parking lot there, I think. So perhaps that is something that we can consider to be able to accommodate a bus. And so I invited them to come and speak with us at the next meeting, and hopefully they'll contact the clerk on that. On November 6th, I helped unveil the Bronze Bear, display there at the airport in Kenai, and there was quite a crowd there for that. And being November, you'd expect the wind, at least in Kenai, to be blowing and snowing, but it was actually a beautiful, beautiful day. It started a little bit later. So if you haven't seen the Bronze Bear that was donated, it's about $170,000 worth of material and art and all of that. It's there for everybody to enjoy, and go out and take a look at it. On yesterday, November 18th, I met with the auditors. They're still working, doing an audit on the city, which they do every year, and things are looking very good. They still have a couple more days to go, and but they expect to have a report back to us in January on their audit. There's kind of one little caveat part of that is there's a federal portion of it that they haven't, that is provided by the federal government annually, that has some guidelines. It's like 5 of the 7 or 8 things that they want them to do, and they don't know. They're pretty sure they know which ones they are because they were proposed. Hopefully I got that correct. But then anyway, so we can expect them to come back in January and give us a full report. And I think, well, the last thing I have here is I just wanted to give a shout out to the Kenai Cardinals girls 3A state volleyball. They won state, and cool cards. So that is my report. And so that brings us down to administrative reports. City Manager Eubank.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. A couple things to report. So on the staffing and recruitment topic, regretfully, Police Officer Sarah Herron has tendered her resignation with the city. Sarah has just completed her 10th year of service with the department, so she's going to be missed, and the department is currently recruiting to fill that position. On a better note, we'd like to welcome a couple of new people to the city. Laura Russell joined the library last week as a program coordinator. Dawson Shangan was hired as an equipment operator in the street department. He'll start on Monday. And Christina Case started at the wastewater treatment plant as a utility operator, and she'll start at the end of this month. We did go through some airport manager interviews this week, and we're working through that process. And like I said, we also have that, they're trying to fill the vacancy left by Officer Herron. It's been a couple weeks now, I attended the Alaska Municipal Tax Conference in Anchorage. Probably the most interesting portion of that for me was some discussion about marketplace facilitators and how the Alaska Remote Seller Sales Tax Commission is looking at dealing with that. Marketplace facilitators are things like Airbnb, VRBO, eBay is a marketplace facilitator. So these are companies that facilitate multiple other businesses to operate under, kind of an umbrella. Amazon is a marketplace facilitator with 60% of the business being done on Amazon being by independent sellers. So we'll be keeping our eye on that. We did complete, we got notice from the consultant, the community survey that we put out. They did achieve their 300 survey results. So what that means is they have a credible sample. They're able to give us the results with a plus or minus 5.8% level of accuracy. They're going to be opening that survey up to anybody that would like to take it, probably next week. So, and then they'll kind of blend those results. So I think that'll be interesting for council when they present those. On Monday of this week, staff, we went to Anchorage. We met with the FAA, probably about 15 individuals with FAA in Anchorage. We talked about capital planning and planning at the airport. We talked about compliance with things at the airport and basically anything and everything new in airports. One thing I did want to bring to council's attention, recently there's been a change in guidance to the FAA for Alaska-only airports, which allows for airfield marking and asphalt crack sealing is now an AIP eligible expenditure. That's probably between a $300,000 and $500,000 expense that the airport goes through probably every 2 to 3 years. I mean, the markings on the asphalt out there really get beat up during the snow removal process, and they have to be kept up. So that's really important for us. And the significance of that, becoming AIP eligible means that the FAA will participate with those costs at their cost share of 93.75%. So significantly reducing the cost to the airport. So I think that's great news for us. The last thing I wanted to report, we got some information from Grant Aviation. A couple things to report there, with the closure of Kenai Aviation. And right now, Aleutian has reduced their flights. Grant Aviation, once again, well, for starters, with the ending of the federal shutdown, their mandated reduction of flights to Anchorage has been lifted, so they can fly their normal schedule. I think that's really good news for the community. Also, Grant has added a third plane each day of the weekend prior to Thanksgiving and following Thanksgiving, trying to pick up some of the slack with Kenai Aviation stepping out. They've also added 5 additional round trips Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I just want to say thank you to Grant. I think it's really important, and I think they're doing a great service to this community, and by trying to add more flights and pick up something, give people the opportunity to still fly out of here. So we really appreciate them as an operator on the airport, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Vice Mayor Askin.
Terry, city manager, sorry. How much has Aleutian, you said they reduced their flights?
Yeah, thank you, Vice Mayor, through the mayor. So a couple things happened with Aleutian, and we've reached out to them. So they've reduced, I believe they're flying 3 flights a week right now, which was down from this summer, I think they were flying twice a day. They reduced it to once a day, and now they're down to 3 days a week. Prior to the federal shutdown, they had submitted to use an alternate aircraft, which has to be approved by the FAA, and that approval was pending when the government shutdown happened. At the same time, they had 2 of their Saab aircraft, which is the aircraft they serve our airport with, had to go out for major maintenance. So they had reduced availability of aircraft, so they reduced their flights. They expect or are anticipating approval of the new aircraft in ATR. And once that approval comes in, I do believe they're going to resume more scheduled service, so.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the city manager? I have a couple. On the survey that you were mentioning, it's going to go out to everybody or be open to everybody. Is that going to be sent out, or how does one know that it's available? Or can you?
I'd have to double check with staff, but I mean, we obviously will be putting it out through probably public service announcements, Facebook posts notifying it. It'll be placed on the city's website where people can get access to it, or a link at least to on our city website, so.
Okay, good. And the second question, you might have mentioned at the last meeting, animal control officer, have we hired a new one for that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe I did approve a conditional offer that has been made. I don't know the status of that, but we have tendered a conditional offer to a candidate.
Okay, thank you very much. Had a question about that today. So any further questions of the city manager? City Attorney Bloom.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. I don't have anything to report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, that brings us to Clerk Sainer.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. Just our office is busy putting together a bunch of numbers and information for our work session on December 3rd about city elections.
Any questions of the clerk? Seeing none. Are there any members from the public who would like to address the council at this time? Mr. Bannock, just state your name and kind of what city you live in.
Thank you, Mr. Naxted. I love living at 1908 Aliak in Kenai, Alaska. Thank you for the opportunity to spew my views with you tonight. Congratulations to my friend Glenyce Petty. It crossed my mind, and she'll confirm this, to bring a Petty for Council sign with me tonight. I didn't, just because I didn't want it to be awkward for anyone else. But in the entertaining words of Groucho Marx, I wouldn't want to belong to a council that had me as a member either. I hope that at least the words that I gave you tonight resonate in your minds. I will apologize to you, not for what you might expect, not for the incendiary words that I use, but I will apologize to you for my lack of involvement. I've watched your meetings. I read your packets every single week, but I didn't go to a budget work session. I could have. I should have. There isn't anybody on this council that's smarter than me that knows how to read a budget, but I didn't. I don't think that'll be the case next spring, and I probably will take a more active role. And I will encourage those that complain about this council and this administration to do the very same thing. And as I ended my 5-minute presentation earlier, my phone is with me almost 100% of the time. I'm an easy guy to meet. I thought about during the break writing on the board, I love the city of Kenai as many times as I could. And tonight I may do that. And remind myself that while I am at complete odds with this administration and the majority of this council, I love the city of Kenai. It pains me greatly to see how bad it has become. Pains me greatly. But that, looking in the mirror, that's part of my resolve. I will join with you more. I will give you my input more over this next coming year for sure. I will. I thank you for the stuff. I thank you for your dedication. We disagree on so many things, but I do consider it a privilege to live in Kenai. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Mr. Bannock, would you stand for any questions?
I'm confident nobody will make that mistake again.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'll give him the opportunity.
Thank you.
Mr. Bannock, well, like I said earlier, some of that was pretty difficult to hear, what you said, and it was what you thought, and I appreciate you applying and taking the time, and I do look forward to, some positive input on a direction. Criticism is relatively easy to come by, but, good positive input on a direction by anybody in the public or on the council here is always appreciated. So I look forward to that possibility from you.
If there's any council member or member.
Old habits.
If there is any member of the council or the administration that takes exception with my comments in a public meeting, I will double down on them and invite you to rebut with me on a local radio program. I would love that and would welcome that if you think what I said was incorrect today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Quick.
I'm sorry, we have, see, broken the ice. Councilmember Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Vanock, for your comments. And I would dare say that 100% of the people in this room tonight would totally agree with you that we all love Kenai.
Good.
And I want to thank you for your enthusiasm for that and look forward to hearing your suggestions, inputs, and criticisms.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Casena.
Thank you. Mr. Bannock, thank you for being here. I did want to ask, short of a radio show, what would be another good way for any of us who are interested in meeting with you to get feedback on how the city of Kenai might improve on specific items? Is that a cup of coffee or stop at Uptown, or what might that look like?
Let the record reflect that Mr. Casino and Mr. Daniel represent a new generation of residents of Kenai, a generation that maybe it's still friends, attended school with a younger generation of a Bannock. Savala, nothing would make me happier. Write this phone number down, 907-398-2316. That phone number is available 24 hours a day. I'll make time to meet with you. Coffee stunts your growth, so stay away from that. But I would consider it an honor to share with you at your convenience. And that's an open invitation.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I did confirm that that is the number that Mr. Machicki sent me as well. But I would also like to point out, I believe there was a promise of a pizza earlier.
Nobody took me up on that.
And
I was the book. I was the book, and boy, was I wrong on that. You could have had a pizza. I'd buy you a pizza anytime, friend. Thank you.
I don't think there was a time limit on that, was there? Yeah, there. See, now we're on a roll. Is there any further questions of Mr. Bannock while we have him here? Thank you, sir.
Thank you again.
Okay, we have online Samantha Springer from the chamber, presumably. She could be representing herself.
Is it working?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Sorry I couldn't be there. I got a kiddo that's sick. So I just wanted to remind everybody that Christmas Comes to Kenai is literally next Friday, which is crazy to think, but it is. So we are going to kick off everything at 11 a.m. Next Friday, and it'll go till 4, and then we'll have the parade at its normal time at 6, and follow that with 15 minutes of fireworks this year. So it should be pretty special. Looking forward to it. And then the other thing is we have an angel tree going on at the Kenai Chamber that is very full. We probably have 3 times the amount of people this year that have applied compared to last year. So well over 200 individuals in these families that need help. So if anybody would like to help, we would really appreciate it. We're trying to get all those families taken care of this year. Other than that, business as usual, and I'll probably be at the next meeting.
Any questions of Ms. Springer? Come. Thank you very much for the presentation, and we look forward to Friday.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Have a nice night. So that brings us to council comments and questions. So we'll start all the way down at the end with Councilmember Petty.
Thank you, Mayor. Nexted. I would like to say it's an honor to be here and to serve with my fellow council members. And I look forward to a very productive time this year. And Kenai is a great place, and I love Kenai. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Grammy.
I am super excited about the Parade of Lights next week. It's one of my absolute most favorite traditions in Kenai. I started going when my son was a baby, and I am thankful that both my adult children will be enjoying that with me next week. I was very excited to see the snowblowers come through my neighborhood today, making sure all those banks were pushed far back now at the beginning of the winter, so we're not fighting snow later on. I also attended the reveal of the bear statues at the Kenai Airport. I think they're really cool. I think it's one more way that we can welcome people to our city, and I appreciate that it really exemplifies the generosity of businesses and individuals within our city and our area that donated those bears. At the risk of possibly stepping on your KCHS toes, I just have to give a shout out to Kenai Band. They did participate at Indianapolis and apparently became a little bit of an internet sensation. There was videos and stuff of them that were, I don't know, going viral, and I watched too many of them. Now Facebook thinks I want to be a band mom and join lots of band mom Facebook groups, but they were awarded a prestigious Albert J. Castronovo Esprit de Corps Award, which is unique for that to be given to a band that didn't make the finals. And it's already on the Wikipedia page too. So if you Google Kenai Band, you will see Kenai Band is on the Wikipedia page. So congrats to Kenai kids doing cool things, and also to our Kenai girls volleyball, won state again. Yeah, good job, Cards.
Student Rep Bowling, did we leave you anything?
Good evening, Mayor Nexted and council members. You certainly didn't leave me with much here, but like you said, congrats to the girls volleyball. That's 3 out of the last 4 years now that they've won. The marching band, thank you so much. Saving some time here. The KCHS Theater has opened its fall production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I believe it's open on the weekends, and they have Facebook posts all about that. This month, we've continued our student recognition events for Student of the Month and honor lunches for good grades and academic stuff. And our leadership classes just hosted a drive-in movie yesterday. The movie we voted for was Goosebumps. And thank you again for ensuring that our roads and sidewalks are staying plowed. It's making a big difference for our students driving to school in the mornings to have the roads plowed and being safe and salted. Thank you.
Good report. And many of the lights are out now too, the luminaires, so it makes it even safer. So thanks for that. Councilmember Petty, or, uh-oh, we did it again. So in our, we've done that
Thank
before.
you, Mayor Nexted. I'll get it right this time, too. First off, I would like to thank all 4 people that put in applications for this one-year council seat. Just the action of being brave enough to put your foot forward and to show your love for Kenai. I appreciate the efforts of all 4. I would also like to thank Mr. Bannock for tonight in your words as you were giving us your 5-minute speech. Yes, a lot of it was criticism and a lot of it was harsh. But I heard something that struck a chord with me, and it's something that has been important to me to get done while I'm here on council, and for some reason, it just got shoved to my back burner. And tonight, when you mentioned it, it was like, oh yeah, I gotta look into this. So anyway, thank you for that. Oh, the bronze bears. That was just exciting to see the sheet come off and to see them. And I was amazed at how, when I stood back and I looked at that corner area where the 3 of them are set up, just how good they looked. And they looked like they'd been there forever. So that told me, it was like, okay, they were meant to be there. This was the right project. This was the right time to do it. And it just looked And when I drove away, it was like, okay, what did that corner look like before? And it was like, oh, all I see now in my mind are those bronze bears. So the fact that it just looks like they've been there forever tells me that we did it right. So thank you to everybody involved. I know Christine and thank you, Mary, were totally instrumental in getting the ball rolling on the funding of that project. And without them, this would not have happened. And thank you to the artists, and thank you for those of you that pushed this project forward, the businesses that supported it. I like it. And a couple of years ago, we've had to take down all of our dead spruce trees. We've had to. And you've heard me say this before. I've lamented the loss of our beautiful trees in our city and how the loss of our trees exposes some of our older buildings, I'll be honest. And it's not as pretty driving around the city anymore. But I like to see some prettiness come to Kenai. And those bronze bears are a nice little addition. So I like that. But thank you to everybody involved. And I'll probably think of something else on the way home, but that's what I've got for the moment.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Askin.
Thank you, Mayor Nexted. I too would like to thank all of the applicants that put their names forward for the consideration for the council spot. That's a hard thing to do. My first year on the council was by an appointment, and that was kind of nerve-wracking. I too attended the unveiling of the bronze bears. It's pretty near and dear to our hearts, my husband and I, so it's pretty special, and I think it's the best thing that we could have done there. Also, I attended the Boys and Girls Club fundraiser on Saturday, and pretty phenomenal. They raised a lot of money. And that's it. Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Okay, Councilmember Daniel.
Thank you, Mayor Naxted. First off, Councilmember Petty, congratulations. Looking forward to a productive session together. That's very exciting. I also would like to thank all the other candidates who applied. I know it's tough, put your foot out there like others have said. And I am looking forward to Mr. Bannock's continued presence. I really appreciate some of his comments tonight, despite how difficult they may have been to hear. Keep it short and sweet.
Councilmember Casena gets last word.
Oh, well, thank you. Not too much. Apparently I need to get out more. I didn't make it to the Bronze Bear or Boys and Girls Club, but it sounds like we had that covered collectively. Councilmember Petty, welcome, or welcome back, I suppose. And thanks again. I mean, I'm the same as everyone else here. I appreciate anyone who's going to put their name in the hat, whether it's for an appointed position or one where they run for. So it takes effort, and I appreciate that. Also, I'm just going to say the unspoken rule out loud to Josh. I am never going to step on your toes for high school announcements. And unless you miss something, that's all you. That's my commitment to you.
Okay, we have no executive session or pending items, so that brings us to adjournment. Having no other business, the body is adjourned. Thank you.